I'm not going to do it, Tommy. He started the demo a little bit raspy, didn't he? Now, I'm going to also say that this is bigger than a left or right issue. Now, recently, I've had Norwich anti-fascists. Now, I've not gone with the anti-fascists, as many of you may know. They've counter-protested against me for years. But they came and they supported me on this issue when I came out against this issue. They came and supported me when I talked about my arrest. My arrest for flaying and for saying, allegedly saying, foreign filth. I was arrested and charged and looking at 2 years in prison. They came and supported me for that. And of course, recently, the left-wing groups are organising demonstrations against digital ID. And do you know what? I'm going to stand with them. Because while I disagree with them on 99% of everything else, this is something where every single one of us needs to unite on. That's what I'm trying to do today. As many of you may know, about 8 different organisations have come together for this protest. And there's actually 4 unofficial ones. But for the next demonstration, which we're doing in February, on a Saturday, don't worry, on a Saturday with a stage, there'll be even more organisations. It is time to unite the entire country. Now, I have been organising demonstrations for years, for absolutely years. And what I've noticed is, so recently, we've been organising demonstrations against the Brook Migrant Hotel in Norwich. And in Norwich, what they've done is, they arrested me and Luke Sharman on the morning of the biggest protest that Norwich had ever seen. Over 1,500 people turned up. And what they did is, they arrested me and they arrested Luke. They banned us from going near any migrant hotels. A couple of weeks later, they arrest the other organiser, they arrested Antifa. After that, they arrest Cameron and countless other people who became organisers because they kept nicking them. But the thing is, they don't even need to charge people when they arrest them. What they do is, they arrest them for something like inciting racial hatred. And without charging them, they release them without charge under suspicion of committing the act. But they put them on bail conditions that prohibit them from attending or organising any demonstrations. So let me get this straight. In a so-called free society, we are being arrested, released without charge and banned from organising or attending any demonstrations. Is this what freedom looks like?
No!
It's not. And so we are going to continue to fight this. Today was a start. I'm shocked there are 200 people here on a Monday evening standing with us against digital IDs. A lot of you may be disheartened with the numbers, but I tell you what, this is only the beginning.
And a Monday.
In February, we need a little bit longer to actually organise a proper campaign. In February, we are coming back and we are reclaiming our country from the tyrannical oligarchs. Now, before I give a proper speech, because no, you're not done with me yet, I'm going to give the stage to, is Sophie here? Sophie! Perfect. So I'm going to give the stage to Sophie Corcoran. She's worked with some fantastic people. She's a writer and political commentator. Can everyone give her a round of applause, please? Thank you.
Before I begin, I thought I'd just show you my Parker's book that I pulled out of my bookcases on. Very relevant, guys, very relevant.
Hold up your mouth properly.
So, guys, it's really good to see you. I'm not really actually a person that comes and speaks at any protest, to be honest. I think this is probably the first one I've ever spoken at. But James asked, and I said yes. So I suppose here we go. Apologies if I suck. But the thing I was thinking, when you hear of a country where they arrest people for straying from the government's narrative, that censors speech online, that they use the courts to silence people, that it controls what people eat and what they drink, and uses digital surveillance, most of you, rightly so probably, would think that I'm speaking about North Korea. But I'm not. I'm speaking about the UK. Right here, right now. We're seeing people be arrested for causing anxiety. A mother was sentenced to 31 months in prison for a tweet that she deleted. A woman with cancer had police turn up at her house and demand that she apologise to someone for offending them, or she'll be facing arrest. And a man was arrested in the dead of the night for daring to tweet the meme that said, "Fuck Hamas." This isn't China. It isn't Iran. No, it's Britain. We were told that the Online Safety Act would protect children from pornography and violence. Instead, it's been used to censor protests, censor political speech online, and even censor some messages from our elected members of parliament. We've seen Section 14 orders be used at protests like in Epping. I know many of you have probably interacted with that at some point. And we've seen people arrested for silently praying in their heads. And now, in Nando's, if you ever go to Nando's, if you like Nando's, there is a sign that says you are only allowed to drink 1 glass of Coca-Cola due to new government laws.
That's why I'm here. That's fucking.
So, in essence, the government now polices everything. It polices what you think, what you say, and even what you drink. And yet, the most dangerous intrusion of all, the one thing that ties all of those things together, and the one reason why, of course, we are all here, is because of digital ID. What we're told is to crack down on illegal working. That's nonsense. We have national insurance numbers that do that already. The issue isn't the system, it's political will and a lack of enforcement. If the government truly cared about cracking down on illegal working, they would go after the likes of Uber Eats and Deliveroo, who openly hire illegal workers, instead of forcing law-abiding citizens who have done nothing wrong into a grid of digital surveillance. They say it's about convenience and efficiency.
Did you get a discount?
But convenience must never come at the cost of our liberty. Ever. I will say that one more time. Convenience must never come at the cost of liberty, and this is exactly what is going to happen here. A digital ID isn't just a passport on your phone. It's a gateway to constant monitoring, tracking where you go, what you buy, what you read, and what you think. And we already know the government polices that quite harshly. We've seen this happen elsewhere. In China, it's tied to a social credit system. In the EU, it's being linked to bank accounts and digital wallets. Once that infrastructure exists, it never stays voluntary for long. Today, it's about security, it's about efficiency, but tomorrow it will be about compliance and it will be about control. Just think, who remembers the COVID passes? They began as a temporary health measure. But as we know in politics, nothing's ever temporary. And they quickly become conditions of everyday life. And they said to us, it's your choice. It's your choice if you want this, but if you don't do it, we're going to force you out of your job, we're going to ban you from seeing your friends, we're going to ban you from seeing your family, and we're not going to let you go out to places. But don't forget, it's still your choice. They were never our choice. And digital ID, once it's normalised, there's nothing to stop a future government linking them to your tax records, social media, or even your bank account access. And now it's already easier enough to get arrested for what you tweet online. Just imagine when they have the records of our names and our addresses at their disposal so easily. We're all going to end up in the cellar reading 1984. And let's not forget, of course, that our government has an absolutely terrible record on protecting our own data. I mean, this is the government where there was NHS data leaks, lost laptops, and we even gave information to the Taliban. This government has proved time and time again that it just cannot be trusted with our personal information. And yet it wants to now control a centralised digital database for every citizen in Britain. No, we do not trust them with this kind of power. In fact, we should not trust any government with this kind of power, no matter who they claim to be. And we're not alone. Nearly 3 million people have already signed a petition against digital ID. So there may not be many of us here, but there's many, many more of us out there. And you know something is a problem when us at the right wing are agreeing with Jeremy Corbyn. But the government, as expected, so far have ignored everyone. But as Margaret Thatcher once warned, we must always be aware of the enemy within, which is much more difficult to fight and far more dangerous for our liberty. The greatest threat to our freedom doesn't come from a foreign power, it comes from our own government. From a government that believes that people are to be managed and not served. From politicians who think they have the right to control everything that we do, from how many glasses of Coke we drink at a Nando's. My friends, this isn't about technology, it's about trust and it's about freedom and it's about the kind of country that we want to leave to our children. Because once our identity becomes digital, our freedom is gone forever. So let's all draw a good line under it today. I don't care who the fuck you voted for in the past. I don't care if you're UKIP, I don't care if you're the British Communist, I don't care if you're Labour. Let's work together and say no to digital ID.
They say that digital ID, as Sophie touched on there, they say that digital ID is to stop illegal workers in the UK. Well, there's a very simple solution. Deport! It's not difficult. It's something that us conspiracy theorists have been screaming about for years. She also mentioned COVID passes. Well, did you know the Nazis had something called the Cousin Pass? It's got a health passport. Exactly the same thing. But I'm going to welcome the stage now to someone that you may all know very well, and that is Nick Tenconi, the leader of UKIP. Louder.
I think it's dusk. It's night time. It's a good job I got blessed with good eyes. What a fantastic crowd. Give yourself a round of applause, everyone. You've come out. I might just camp here. I might just live here. I might move in here because all of the speeches are happening from here. So look, we know that he's not going to listen. He doesn't care. Did you guys know that Keir Starmer wants to bring in digital ID to stop the boats? We might as well laugh about it, guys. We know what's coming, right? And there's a chance he might be listening as well. My activist team and I have done more to stop the boats in only a matter of days, funded with only a few quid and armed with a set of balls than any establishment party has ever done over the last 2 decades. You know when Starmer's lying, don't you? Every day. His lips move. Now to the subject of tyranny. I remember around 5.5 years ago, I was told when I could and couldn't go out. I was told when I could and couldn't work. I was told I would have to get a loan, and I was asked to pay interest on that loan to survive. I was told to stand 2 meters away from my fellow citizens, and I was asked to clap at the sky. I observed glorious sunshine and blue skies never before seen in England, fairly consistently for what seemed like endless months, and every single news piece, absolutely everywhere, was far left propaganda telling me that all white, straight Christian men were bad and were the source of all evil, and that the left, the Islamists and non-whites could behave however they wanted, whenever they wanted, as long as it was in the name of fighting oppression, standing up to racism, objecting to our history, and of course, ladies and gentlemen, their ace in the hole, fighting for minority rights. As a blue-blooded conservative, it is in my nature to not trust the government. Down files. Not only does my inertia tell me not to trust the government, but also to not believe a word they say. It has been made so demonstrably clear that the political agenda is far left and totalitarian in orientation. I am on record as saying we have clearly been living under left-wing fascism for so very long in modern Britain. Frankly, it's one of the most depressing political topics I have to engage in. Britain has been under left-wing authoritarian rule for decades. The ugly truth is that the vast majority of social conservative voters still don't understand this. There is only one hope. There is only one way out. The solution is but one. You must become a political activist. You must become a party member. You must stand and win as a candidate in your area, and you must contribute to returning a parliamentary majority in the general election, and put me in place in that building over there. Put me in place as your country's leader, and I swear, patriots, on everything that's holy, I will declare war on the deep state. I will declare war on our corrupt government. I will declare war on far-left extremism, communism, and Islamofascism, as well as beginning mass deportations and remigration of those people who do not belong here. In the spirit of fairness, let us ask ourselves, patriots, what is digital ID for? My first instincts remind me that I have a national insurance number, a passport, a tax code, a unique tax reference, and probably about 50 other forms of identification. NHS number. My instincts tell me that when I was hunting invaders in northern France, these people travelled 2,500 miles, jumping from country to country, and our governments have no issue with this and with spending and offering our taxpayer cash to welcome and support them. I notice also the establishment refuses to deploy the military into the channel to intercept and destroy the boats. Keir Starmer, tell me again that digital ID is designed to stop the boats, you lying scumbag. Recently, my accountant emailed, and I've got a very good relationship with him, even though he's my accountant. He emailed me telling me I had to confirm my identity to the revenue. Now, for those of you who aren't self-employed, we tend to refer to the Inland Revenue in a derogatory sense, so we call them just the revenue. Self-employed people will know full well these people are basically a mafia and live to ensure you and I comply or are heavily fined. Like many British institutions, the revenue is not only incredibly well financed, but also has endless resource. They are a state asset and are in no way a friend of what built Britain, and describes the rags to riches story perhaps the best. That's the story of the family-run and owned SME. That's the small medium enterprises, guys. The start-up businesses. I believe he said the digital app is called One Login, and it is a gov.co.uk product. Now, I have been told in no uncertain terms that should I not verify my ID through this app, heavy fines will follow and that there is no escape. So let us now turn our heads to what the purpose of digital ID is as described by the government. The government have said the following: the card can be used to identify yourself to law enforcement. What do we think of that?
Well, I already know where we are.
The government have said the following: the card can be used to identify yourself to law enforcement. Do you mean like a driving license? Do you mean like facial recognition? The government have said the card gives you easier access to public services. What, you mean like becoming Muslim? The card, it gets better, guys. The card helps protect people against identity fraud. The government cares about us. The government cares about our bank balances. Do you know how much they care about our bank balances and our hard work and our blood, sweat and tears? They tax us into oblivion. Now, I just heard from a gentleman who I've never met that apparently this has all been demoed. Test case beta testing, Vietnam, believe he said the 1st of September. 86 million bank accounts were frozen to those who didn't comply. Now, I can't verify the individual. He gave me his time. I spoke to him. You all know I'm at street level. You're welcome, sir. And we very quickly got onto the fact that this is biblical. Any Christians here? In terms of background, guys, national ID, for those of you who don't know, was finally abolished in 1952. Progressivism, modernity, we're going backwards. It was abolished in 1952. You guessed it, it was abolished because populist governments decided it was being viewed as authoritarian and used to crush civil liberties. Guess which politician and which party reintroduced the scheme?
Always fucking Labour.
Tony Blair and his new Labour, ladies and gentlemen. And obviously, for good measure, it is the Tony Blair Institute which has been pushing the idea of digital ID
It's also his son's act.
for years as well. Oh, really?
Yeah, the act that they
So, we know about good politicians and bad politicians over the years, guys. We know about good decisions and bad decisions. There have been some, very few good decisions. But in closing, we all know why we're here. Patriots. The petition was made and it got 100 trillion billion signatures. What's Keir Starmer going to do with that? He's going to wipe his arse with it, is what he's going to do. They're laughing at us. Petitions work. Pressure works. Lobbying works. Think tanks work. Here's one for you. The Big Brother Watch have issued a statement strongly urging the government to rethink. And as usual, we, the voter, the taxpayer, we remain outraged and no change comes about whatsoever. Now, Ronald Reagan said, evil is powerless if the good are unafraid.
We need Ronnie and Maggie.
We need more than Thatcher, mate. We need more than Thatcher. What do we know about the good in Britain, patriots? Is it afraid? Are the silent majority, the masses, are we afraid? Once again, I am commanded to force you patriots to face the realities about the battle we are in. You cannot convert liberal mindsets, nor communists, nor Islamo-fascists. You cannot convert narcissistic personality disorder, prideful, hardened hearts. You are wasting your time trying to save them. We are also out of time. We also cannot wait for another establishment stooge to disappoint us and say, you have to fight to keep your freedom. Left always want the government to have more power over our freedoms. The approach of the lefty voter is to do it slowly, over time, accepting that change is indeed slow and often with no shots fired. Indeed, the transfer of power from the people to the government is the incredibly grave matter with which we are now addressing, and why we are here today. And for those taking digital ID to the grave, that this is the hill that you die on, this is your campaign, the grave matter that we are discussing is the voluntary offering of our power to the state, unopposed, with no resistance. That's what the message is, and we must confront it. Tell me anything, mate. In conclusion, people actually, genuinely, have clapped at the sky. All joking aside, the greatest problem, patriots, we have is the void of courage and, of course, political apathy and indifference on the socially conservative right. Men and women must stand up and fight. The issue we have, and the key ingredient required to fight back against socialist tyranny, is a single unit point of command on the socially conservative right simply does not exist. For too long, patriots, concerned citizens, it simply hasn't been an option available to the socially conservative voters. They have had no one to vote for. How many times have you heard it? I've got no one to vote for. Or if they are registered to vote and they are going to vote, they turn round and say, who did you vote for? And you say, I voted for the least worst option. I promise you, if that mindset stays, if the coward bending of the knee, indifference, apathy stays, the corrupt liberal elite will continue to have their wicked way with us, without so much as flowers and dinner. This is not the end, patriots. This is just the beginning. What has been trialled again and again is us leaving it to the liberal elites to protect us. How's that worked out, patriots? How's it worked out leaving the men in suits, the liberal elites, the millionaires and the billionaires? How's that worked out protecting our women and children? How's it worked out protecting our borders? It's failed time and time again. All this does, all the outrage, all the hatred, all it does is serve to further flatten the heart rate of patriots' motivation and willingness to defend their land, their church, their freedoms, their women and children, and I'm absolutely sick of it. Pressure through movements, lobbying and protests, all of these work to inspire people, and I fully endorse this approach. A massive thank you before I close to James, who is so far beyond his years, and activists who are so far beyond their years, doing so much more than I was doing at 24, 25, 26, albeit a very different time. Pressure works, and I want to thank good people, you guys, media, influencers, streamers, activists, men like James Harvey. I want to thank you so much, because this message gets sent to our brothers and sisters in the UK who have given up hope, and it reignites hope, and that is what brings the fight and wins the battle. So I fully endorse this approach. But patriots, you know me, this must all be converted into political action and behind a political party. You cannot take your country back, and you will not take it back without your political party returning a majority in the general election, patriots. Even after lockdown, if people still do not know their political ideology, and if they still do not know their faith, I am at a loss 5 years on from that awful period as to what to say. But I do know we are fighting for the soul of this nation. There is nothing left but to fight back, patriots. I am your leader. I am your fighter. I will retrieve your freedoms, and I will punish the traitors who have taken them from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. That was awesome speech. Now, before we bring on the next speaker, we've got like 2 or 3 more to go. I want to mention, last week I was invited to a demonstration in Braintree. At this demonstration, Braintree and Colchester. At this demonstration in Braintree and Colchester, the police had issued a section 14 without any grounds to do so. What this meant was that without any reasonable suspicion, the police were able to dictate the exact location, the exact finish time, the exact start time of the protest. If we didn't listen to this, we would be arrested and would look at prison time. This is not freedom. Now, for those who have followed Nick for years, you may know that he's also the Chief Operating Officer of Turning Point UK. Everyone give a round of applause. Now,
Thanks guys for tuning in.
Now, I'm going to introduce you to our next young speaker, Young Bob.